what Masvidal does, like that lunging hook that he threw against Till, that's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. It's not. He gonna get kicked in the face.
Well, I mean, Wonder Boy is really trying to kick him in the face right now as we speak, and now he's shooting for the legs.
Yeah,
That's on the second time he shot for the legs, and this is the third round of their fight, and he does really well when he shoots for his legs and then comes off swinging. So yeah, man, yeah, you might be right, but yeah, it does losing to Pettis like that does leave
that whole division in a weird place
so
because if Pettis didn't beat him, right, Wonder Boy can then position
it's just rare.
himself, huh?
Pettis doesn't beat him. To me, it's like a regular day in the park. Like you don't really expect Pettis to beat him. You expect Pettis to be competitive, but you don't expect Pettis
But
to
from a matchmaking perspective, right? In a matchmaking perspective, what that does is that you can then have your boy fight. You can have your boy fight running back with Till. You can have your boy, and in fact, he still can run it back with Till because Till's coming off 2 losses. So that could be the loser goes home situation where Till and Wonder Boy can fight and loser go home kind of deal. Which I personally think that Till needs to take a lesser fight. I think Till needs to fight someone that I think they know he can beat. Because if he loses 3 in a row, I mean, that's the end of his career essentially.
if he
So
loses three in a row the way he's lost the last two,
yeah, I think he needs to
because he
lose
was
to
beat up and then he was knocked out.
yeah. I think Till needs to fight maybe like a Leon Edwards, someone who's considered to be good but not really proven for real.
Yeah, he need to fight him
Maybe
here.
yeah, and he could fight him in the UK. That could be a good pay per view. A draw essentially. Maybe fight, someone else. Maybe like RDA. I think maybe Till will be good against RDA. Because I think we know now that RDA is the Brooklyn Brawler of the of that division, the middleweight. No, what are they? They're welterweights? They're welterweights, right?
Welterweights.
Yeah, he's the Brooklyn Brawler of the welterweight division. Do I need to explain why that reference is funny or makes sense?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm out here. I have to explain, things like, fruit of the
Fruit.
poisonous tree. No, but yeah, seriously though, you should explain that to the people.
Okay, well, the Brooklyn Brawler was a wrestler back in the day, and the primary function of the Brooklyn Brawler was he never won titles or anything like that,
Nope.
even though wrestling's fake and all that other stuff. But he never did any of that. The primary function of the Brooklyn Brawler was to test someone to see if they're ready to become superstars. So if you look at all your
Yeah,
superstars in the early '90s, they've fought and have good matches against the Brooklyn Brawler, and probably have decimated them, and whatever the case may be. That's the person that they throw.
super
He's
gate.
like he's the gatekeeper, and RDA is pretty much the gatekeeper of that division essentially. Like even Dana's pretty much have said it, which is good for RDA because that means he always has a job and he always get paid. But it kind of also means that they kind of know that he's never going to be able to be any of the top guys there.
If you kind of leave with just an okay relationship, not necessarily a good relationship, but just an okay relationship with the UFC, chances are you might have an opportunity
Um,
to come
come
back
back.
and fight. I mean, they're talking to Uriah Faber. Uriah Faber talking about he was offered 2 fights this past year.
Yeah, but Uriah Faber left because he couldn't be Dominic Cruz. That's why he left.
Yeah,
And Dominic Cruz was the champion.
and if you can't be champion, you might as well.
Yeah, I mean that's the only reason why Uriah Faber left because he could not be Dominic Cruz, and it looks like and T.J. Dillashaw lost to Dominic Cruz when he came back. So it just kind of seemed like, all right, well, there's no point of dragging us through this. And then, of course, you put everything into Cody Garbrandt. Cody Garbrandt beats the shit out of Dominic Cruz. And then now you're kind of like, okay, so what are we going to do? And then
I don't
now
know, man.
T.J. Dillashaw,
That's when I fell in love with Cody Garbrandt as a fighter. When he beat the shit out of Dominic Cruz, I was like, wow,
when he
who
started
was
pop
this
blocking
guy? Yeah, who was
after hitting
this
him.
guy? Yeah, I was sold on that guy immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard sometimes to stay liking Dominic Cruz only because, I mean, he has the full douchebag starter kit. Like, he
True.
has a total tool starter kit. Like, them tattoos, ridiculous. Like, he has a fucking eagle wings on his neck. The way he talks, ridiculous. But, I mean, the guy can
Are
fight.
you
So,
talking about Garbrandt? Garbrandt.
yeah.
Garbrandt. You
Oh, you
said
felt
Dominic Cruz right there.
Dominic Cruz. My fault. You said you fell in
Yeah.
love with Dominic Cruz?
Now I fell in love with Garbrandt then, but you just described. You said Dominic
Oh,
Cruz's name, but you
oh, no,
described
no. No. Okay, yeah. Cody Garbrandt has the, my fault.
the tattoos.
Cody,
Yeah, he
yeah.
has that starter kit.
He has the douchebag starter kit. You just look at him and just
The
everything about him.
haircut, the haircut
Yeah,
and
everything.
everything.
Like the chick he dating, like everything about him just looks like the
The
nigga. He's
suit.
the motherfucker that you do not ever want to have a conversation with at the bar. You want to avoid him at all times. If he's had too many fucking Coronas, he's probably gonna come and try to say something crazy to you, and then you're gonna, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's the dude that you avoid, but he can fight, and because I remember when I remembered Cody Garbrandt from his season of, not his season of Ultimate Fighter, but the season before when he was a contestant. When it was Uriah Faber and Uriah Faber and Conor McGregor. I remember that whole thing. I
I
remember him.
remember when he got up when he was gonna fight Conor McGregor,
Yeah,
and I was like, that's what made me say, I like you, man.
yeah. It's interesting. It's interesting. It says something about the UFC if you think about it, because that was like a year, and then he was the champion. The very next Ultimate Fighter. It's like, how many fights did Cody Garbrandt have before? You know
Two,
what I mean? Like,
two,
I mean, what
two, and
happened?
then you
Like,
get two, and then you get a shot.
I mean, there's so many people. I guess you got to have the rotations. I
It's
mean, if you have a
it's
dominant
about
champion,
who it's about who you beat when you beat them and who else is healthy. Because
especially
you've
when you have
seen,
a dominant champion. If you have a
yeah,
dominant champion who's beating everybody, it's like, yeah, you got to do it that way. So I get it, but this is interesting. It is
yeah,
interesting, to say the least.
I respect
But
it wholeheartedly.
yeah. So in talking, we also do know that I mean, I guess we already stated that Darren Till did lose to Jorge Masvidal, which is another loss on his record. So
Man, he didn't just lose to him; he got KO'd by Jorge Masvidal.
yeah, but he pretty much got KO'd by Woodley too. I mean, we can sit here and go Woodley used or whatever, but he got dominated by Woodley too. In fact, I would think the Woodley loss was worse, in my personal opinion. But whatever. So that gentleman has to go back to the drawing board and figure out what's going on. Um, that's unfortunate for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, hey, you win some, you lose some.
Honestly, back to the Darren Till, what Darren Till should do. Darren Till should either do that or just move up, dude. Move up.
I mean, move up and fight Rockhold.
No, no, he'd have that. He'd be moving up to light heavyweight.
Yeah,
Light
move up
heavyweight.
and fight Rocco. Tell Rocco to come back down and move up and fight Rocco, man. Like, he's definitely gonna have to do something because he can't keep draining himself to make that weight. And on top
Yeah.
of that, Jorge Masvidal did catch him slipping, but Darren Till was doing really well in that fight. He just has to stop being so emotional and stop letting people like Ben Askren get under his skin.
Yeah, I would just move up because there's no point. Because I'll be honest with you, if he fights Ben Askren and he loses to Ben Askren, you might as well just go ahead and wrap him up. You can throw him on ice at that point.
Oh, Dana White will go ahead and wrap his ass up at that
Yeah,
point.
but I don't think Dana White wants to give Ben Askren the privilege. I think Dana White wants Ben Askren to run that back with Lawler.
Nah, man, they going somewhere else, man. They've already offered Askren,
Masvidal?
Masvidal to
Is that set in stone?
Not set in stone yet, and I hope it isn't set in stone. That'll be a weird fight to see.
Right, because you're going to beat him.
Man, I just know how he gonna fight him.
Yeah,
It's not even about winning or losing. I just know how he's gonna fight him.
he just creep forward and just get punched
Creep
in the face
forward.
and he grabs his
It's
arm.
it's basically like he fights like an older brother. Like mom said not to punch you, but I'm finna wrestle your ass and put you in this headlock, something serious.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, no hand skills whatsoever. It seems like, and that guy trains with Duke Rufus, so it's like really weird. And
True.
Duke Rufus is one of those names that gets tossed out, like Duke Rufus. He trains with top guys like Duke Rufus, and you're one of those guys. One of those guys we're supposed to know who it is, but we don't know because we weren't watching this shit in the fucking '90s or whatever.
Yeah.
But that dude right there is whatever. In our laps, as well. What else happened in MMA that we should discuss? Not too much, right? We discussed, yeah. So I mean, I think MMA is essentially wrapped up. I mean, Conor McGregor retired, and then news came about Conor McGregor might having some sort of sexual scandal thing going on, some sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Me Too. I think it's rape. I think they're saying. Are they saying rape or are they saying
Oh well, I think
inappropriate behavior?
they are saying sexual assault,
Oh, okay, so that's rape.
but yeah, well it can be many different things. Rape could definitely be one of the things that it is, but
But it's in
you
that
know,
umbrella, right? It's kind of
it's
in that
yeah,
umbrella.
it's
Yeah.
definitely under the umbrella of that. But Conor McGregor has allegedly, but that story has been out since I'd say wow how long has it been? It's been out since December.
Huh.
Yeah, it's just resurfacing now because of the retirement thing. But
Mm.
this is like I said, this is I think it's all a ploy
Negotiate more money.
to negotiate. Well, this is not necessarily more money, but that stake in the company, which he probably deserves.
Um. Yes and no. I would say yes.
You don't think he deserves stake in the company?
I think you can make an argument for no, because I mean you got to think about it like this, right? So Conor McGregor was like the biggest star or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Conor McGregor came right after Rousey, correct?
Yeah,
Right after Rousey.
right after.
Okay. So you can make the argument of that, but I mean you got to think about it like this, right? With the whole thing that was kind of going on with Conor, within that vacuum, there was only really 3 fights. There was
True.
the Aldo fight. No, 4 fights. There was the two Nick Diaz's fights, and then there was the climax, which is the Eddie Alvarez fight, right?
Yeah.
So there's 4 fights in total. He goes, and then that era kind of ends. He goes and fights Mayweather, and then disappears. And the promotion survived. Within that period of time, we got the return of John Jones, right? So we
Yes.
got John Jones Cormier. Okay. Between that time as well, we got Cormier losing and then going and beating Stipe.
Yes.
We got Woodley beating Till. And
Yes.
then now we have Woodley losing to Usman, potentially creating another superstar. And we still had Demetrius Johnson throughout the entire course of all that. So the UFC can make an argument that there are other superstars.
Yeah.
Also, on top of that, we had Cyborg beating the living shit out of everyone. And then now we have Amanda Nunes beating her.
Yeah.
Right? So you can argue. I see Conor's arguments that the UFC probably wouldn't have been able to build to a point that it is now without Conor McGregor. Like if we take out those 4 fights, right? If we take
Yeah.
out those 4 fights, who is essentially making up the gap? I think in the midst of those 4 fights, I think we have Garbrandt beating Dominic Cruz, but it wasn't that really big of a deal. It wasn't that big of a deal for real. It didn't really make waves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It didn't make waves like that. But having said all that, it's I don't know, man. That Mayweather fight definitely put him in, you know what I'm saying, a different category than
It
a
put him in
lot
a
of other
different
people.
category, but he lost.